This morning we begin a new sermon series together. We've entitled it Psalms of Summertime, and I'm really excited for this series. It's been one that I've imagined we might do together for a while. I've told you before, if you've heard it, I'm sorry, I got to tell it again, that the Psalms for me were my reintroduction to a practice of scripture reading. I was given a book as a gift for officiating a wedding. It was this beautiful book produced by Alabaster that put the Psalms to a different sort of print, not just the text that you'll see in your pew Bible this day. And I started reading them daily. And for me, it was incredibly important in rediscovering an appreciation for Holy Scripture. And not just that, but deepening my knowledge of Scripture. So I'm really excited for us to spend the summer working through different Psalms. Let me grab this Bible real quick. I picked this up earlier this week when I was trying to get everything organized up here. And it reminded me of the first time I was introduced to the Psalms. Growing up in Greenville at John Knox Presbyterian Church in Greenville, South Carolina, we would do something called sword drills. Do y'all know what those are? No. Okay. Well, some of y'all do. Yeah. Okay, good. Some are shaking your heads. Yes. So, in some places, this book is known as your sword. The Spirit of God is your shield. I didn't know that at the time we were doing sword drills, but my Sunday school teachers growing up would give us competitions, right? Krispy Kreme donuts were what was on the line for us. And what they would do to start us out for Sunday school is they would call out a scripture and we would have to turn to it really quickly. And the hack, if you will, is understanding that the Psalms are right there in the middle of the scripture. Okay, so if you open it up and you are in the midst of the Psalms, you know you're about halfway in, and all you have to then figure out was the scripture that was named before or after the Psalms, right? So this was the first hack, and we would never do sword drills for the Psalms because that was too easy, right? You would open it up and you'd be right there. So they were simply a means for me to the end of Krispy Kreme donuts, okay? And we didn't spend a lot of time together studying their content. And so for me, as I told you, it was that book produced by Alabaster that was the first thing to really, truly introduce me to the depth and breadth of the Psalms. Brian Chung writes this. He says, "The book of Psalms are a collection of raw, honest poems from thousands of years ago, telling the story of humans and their desire to know God. The Psalms highlight for us the full range of emotional and spiritual experiences that we live through as human beings. So as we read them, we learn together about mourning, grief, lament, but also love and joy, also forgiveness. Mostly, we learn together what it means to connect with God in the midst of our very complex lives. The Psalms are a sprawling epic about our life with God, in community, in the midst of creation, and with one another." So my hope is that over the next 9 weeks or so, whether you get to be here in worship and we get to run out of bulletins, or whether you're joining us virtually, wherever you find yourself as you vacation this summer, my hope is that we together might grow deeper in our knowledge of Scripture together, but also in the way that we understand Scripture communicating to us the depth and breadth of the human experience. This morning we will begin at the